Yeah, let's turn it off.
You know what I'm saying? Just to be safe, because you might get a low hum, just like a frequency before.
All right, well, we're recording, man.
Yo,
Radamiz.
Yo, bless,
welcome to the Bout Whatever Podcast, Ep.1.
Ep.1, damn.
It's kind of crazy that we're here. This is a new thing for me.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations, bro. Yo, let's
appreciate
take a cheers
to that. Cheers to that.
Salute.
Oh, yeah, we're unofficially sponsored by Bel Air Boys. Shout out Rick Ross.
You will eventually. Actually, I got to plug you up. I know some people over there.
All right, boom. Let's make it happen.
Hell yeah.
So I want to we know each other. We've known each other for years now, but I want to kind of get a little bit deeper into who Radamiz is. And, I want to touch up on, growing up in New York first. That's something that's always interested me. And I'm just interested to see, like, how it was for you growing up and, what made you kind of turn into who you are today as far as, like, growing up in the neighborhood and stuff like that.
It's multifaceted. You know what I'm saying? I feel like growing up in New York is vast, right? Like, a lot of people have grown up in New York. For me, I grew up around here, you know what I'm saying? Like Bushwick, Southside, and then Bed-Stuy. But then my shit was influenced by, my parents, So I'm growing up in New York. I'm in public school and then nice, like, middle schools and then a new high school. And, my experience is all over the place, but through the perspective of like a first generation immigrant and then Dominican, that informed me a lot about my space too. That's something that I feel like even when I was growing up, I was very aware of that, being like I went to DR every single year since I was born, you know what I mean? And I always came back and there was always this dual perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, going on where as far as like, oh, this is definitely where I'm from, but I could tell who's never left. Yeah. Also, you know what I'm saying? I could tell who's never been outside of the United States of America and really be able to see the difference in opportunity, the difference in happiness, the difference in morals, you know what I'm saying? And perspectives on what success looks like. So I think from a very young age that really informed me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and one thing also that's like interests me is me from growing up in Florida, my childhood was totally different from somebody, say, growing up in New York City. Mm-hmm. And I always think about that. I always think about what it must be like, to grow up in a city where eventually you're kind of put on your own. You got to take the train to school. You got to do this, and it kind of gives you like a sense of freedom. Yeah. And that's always interested in me into how kids kind of develop more of a
you're independent very fast.
You get
like in sixth grade, you're taking the train by
exactly.
yourself. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. Even for me, it's like it's a separate sense of independence too, because very early on, I realized, I'm not my parents. Yeah. This isn't foreign land to me. The language isn't foreign. I understand the culture. I understand the music. I understand the race relations more because these are my classmates. These aren't ethnicities and religions and shit that you're experiencing for the first time in your 20s and 30s, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like I feel like I was on my own twice, you know what I mean? As opposed to if my parents were born and raised here, they're educating me on the culture, they're educating me on the system and the way everything is laid out in New York and in the United States of America, period. But then early on I realized that too. I was like, oh shit, like I have this bar on this new album that I'm working on. I'm like, listen to 50% of advice my parents give me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they give me a lot, but there's so much that they have no clue, and it's my responsibility to now educate them. And
isn't that's wild, right? Like how we get to the age where I have like a similar situation with my mom now too, where like our conversations have totally changed to the point where it's like she now listens to my perspective because there's things that she just doesn't understand.
Right. I mean, they say it's a parent raises a child until the child raises the parent. Right. And it's the same thing even in nurture. A parent raises you, and hopefully you help them when they need you. You know what I mean? In their formative years. So it's crazy. Like intellectually, it happens too.
Yeah, and one thing keeping on this subject, the one thing I do notice is that you have like a very good relationship with your parents, your family in general. Tell me a little bit about coming up and, what was your mom thinking about you? Is she worried about you ever growing up in the Sumner houses, out here in Brooklyn?
I mean,
what was that like?
What I like, a good relationship can only be comparative. So like maybe in comparison to other people, it's a good relationship. To me, it's like figuring each other out. Yeah. And I think that hasn't always been a smooth ride. You know what I mean? But it's like in a relationship, like when the arguing stops, the relationship is dead. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, like there is this intention of like, and this desire to bond and understand each other more and educate each other more. And I think that that's what it's always been with my parents, at least when I started really being an independent thinker. You know, when it came to my career, it was definitely not something that they understood and took for face value as something significant or important. You know, I mean, my father comes from, like, there's a lot of, like, merengue and típico and musicians and stuff, like, on my father's side. My mom's side, I don't really know too many musicians, but I know my father's side, there's a lot of artists. And how the artist was looked at in the Dominican Republic, which is very important, is, you know, you're basically you're playing for little to no money all the time. Yeah. It's worse than of how it looks here. Especially back then, you know, there was no middle ground of success. There was no selling tapes. There was no, you either played for free or like for pennies around the town, or you were like a major star. But even if you were a major star, you know, by the time I was born and my parents had developed, they even realized like, there was a disparity between fame and actual success. You know, especially in the Dominican Republic, you know what I mean? So like people that they thought were on, you find out they signed a deal for, you know what I'm saying, 5,000 pesos and recorded 3 albums and never saw a dime from it again. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that and the parties you play are cheap. So, you know, I say all that to say, you know, they had no real basis of what success looked like. It was not a tangible thing, you know, so it wasn't. I'm not surprised that when it came to me being an artist, you know, they were like very apprehensive. A little hesitant, yeah. I mean, little is an understatement. Like they were extremely they're extremely reluctant to like encourage me. But, you know, at the same time too, if they instructed me and if they educated me and instilled me with like ideas of family, of doing what's important, of doing what's good, of perseverance, you know what I'm saying? Like, then I think they eventually realized like, yo, I have my own perspective on the world, you know what I mean? And I have my own perspective on what's important and what's a good thing to like do in my life. You know?
I want to touch, before we move on to something else, I want to touch a little bit more on the speed bumps that you talk about, you know, because again, I kind of understand where you're coming from, you know, with our parents. When we get to a certain age, if we don't necessarily have their idea of a plan set in place, they kind of think that we're lost, you know, and I want to know a little bit more detail about like some of the speed bumps you had between your mother and you about, or your parents and you about being an artist, what that might have caused.
Well, you got to understand, for me, I was always a good kid in school. Yeah. You know, like in public school, like in PS59, I was, you know, winning awards and, you know, selected as an honorary student. I won trophies as like a storyteller, you know what I mean? I used to memorize books and perform them around the borough. And, you know, when I graduated public school, I was like the star student. Like, you know, we had a principal that passed away from cancer, and every year they honored a student, and I was that kid. And then I go into middle school and I'm playing the viola, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's a specialized, you know, it's Philip Schuyler, so it's a specialized middle school and taking a test. And I'm like, same thing generally, you know what I mean? In high school, same joint. Like I'm never not myself, but I was always, you know, I always cherished school, you know what I mean? I always saw the benefit of it. At least for me, I always understood it. And more so than the actual knowledge was, I learned how to communicate what I did and didn't understand to my professors, and then, you know, and period, you know what I'm saying, losing the fear of questioning. And then from my high school, I'm just painting the picture, and then from my high school I get into NYU, and I graduate from NYU, but I get into NYU, and it's like,
what did you graduate?
To this day, no. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but to my knowledge, nobody from that high school has ever gone into a better university since. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking 10 years ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? Basically, you know what I mean? And like I started, so it's like, you have, like, my parents are seeing all of that, you know, and then NYU, I'm doing my thing. I'm getting A's every semester. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I graduate, and it was like, all right, so now I'm a rapper. Yeah. They were like, what the fuck? Like, I was, you know, because I'm telling them I'm interested in psychology. Yeah, what I majored in was social and cultural analysis, and I minored in creative writing. So, social and cultural analysis part was basically journalism, psych, and just like media. You know what I'm saying? And then on the creative writing side, it was poetry. So I minored in creative writing, but it was through poetry. But you know, that's where I'm studying gender and sexuality. That's where I'm studying Latino studies. That's where I'm studying, you know what I'm saying, just city. You know what I mean? Like, but for me, that's the thing. For me, it was always ammo for me as an artist. Like I always went to school with the intention of, one, just being an MC with a degree, and two, representing for my people. But then three, arming myself with just knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Broadening my perspective on the world. You know what I mean? Because I feel like to be an MC, you have to have empathy and an open mind. You know what I mean? Like to be a great, you know, because you're the person that makes life make sense for people who otherwise don't have the words. You know? So. Yeah, no, and one thing I wanted to touch on again was. Wow, I just forgot what I was going to say. Bam, remember it. What were we just talking about? We'll edit this out, don't worry. No, we don't got to edit shit. So for me, that's what I was always focused on my music. Okay, you know that's what I was going to talk about, the human psyche. Yeah. That's always interested me because, you know, I mean, I remember when I was in high school, I always wanted to be one of those people that, you know, that show Lock Up? Nah, what's that? Or it's like when they send a group of journalists into, you know, a high security prison or something like that, and they document prison life, you know, inmates, anything, you know, lifestyles. They're in there for months, basically, right? Crazy. And so that's always interested me, and I hear that in your raps too. You know, like you've kind of developed into this wide perspective of knowledge, and also another thing. And I remember what I was going to say before about going back to the college, and more than just knowledge, you learned how to be independent. Yeah. And I always talk about that, about college. Like, I went to school for similar things. I went to school for television, radio, broadcasting, you know, so I was doing all that stuff. But I think the most important aspect about college was, you know, building relationships, learning how to be on your own if you left the house for college, you know. And I think those are all super important things to develop a character, you know. And that's just always intrigued me about you, that you kept to the path, you finished school, and just something interesting. Thank you, bro. I mean, I feel, you know, it's taken a minute to even get here. You know what I'm saying? And it takes, like, you also have to reflect. That's the thing. Like, you have a lot of people who, like, most people's mistakes are not made consciously. Yeah. Most people's missteps, they're made out of ignorance of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Lack of knowledge, not lack of perspective, lack of somebody putting them on as to where they're at in their life. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I look at it like, what tips, like, how can I prevent that for people? You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at that in music, because I understand music is messaging. Like, a lot of people take it, like, I understand it's sound, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely sound. It's the vibration. It's the emotion you're evoking in people, you know what I'm saying? But you're also telling people what to say, you know? You're telling people what to repeat. You're telling people what to be entertained by. Like, that's such a responsibility, you know what I mean? And for me, as I matured as an artist, you know what I'm saying? And then started sounding more and more like myself, and when you do that, you really don't sound like anybody else, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of it is just because what do I really want people to be hearing? You know what I'm saying? What kind of stories, what kind of pictures do I want painted? What perspective and understanding do I want? I'm a Libra, you know what I'm saying? So I believe in also just like the balancing of I don't know. It's tough, man. But yeah, but it's like Quincy Jones told Khalid. He said you can never make music more than who you are. You know, and for me that was really impressionable, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like, all right, bet, if you want to be who you believe is needed in hip hop and in music, then it's time for you to, like, become, you know what I mean? So, because you can't rap it and not be it, you know? Yeah, and you know, I want to, let's pour some more of this Bel Air real quick. You want a little bit more? You good? Bro, come on. All right, let's do it. I ain't gonna say no to that. A little bit in there, a little bit in here. Boom, boom, boom. Erickson is good? Good? You know, one thing, another thing, to kind of get off topic here, I was listening to the Synonyms of Strength EP. Dope.
And what's the song where you mentioned? This is gonna take us back because I got a lot of stuff about this.
It's okay.
What's the name of the song where you talk about the dojo?
Cypher League Dojo Rap, Sarayo D on that, and Solomon 5. A lot of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's Brody's Ordies.
I was listening to that last night, and I was like, yo. I immediately got flashbacks to the dojo, man, and doing all these shows and the Cypher League guys and how important that was, bro, for us. I mean, that's like where we developed a relationship. Did I meet you on Who's on Deck days?
Nah, I think I met you. I think I met you with Cypher League, and then because I was going up to it wasn't City College, it was Brooklyn College, right? I was going up to rock with Ivy Rivera, so I was like doing interviews with her, and around the time I think when I went there that day to do my interview with her is when I saw you there. I didn't even know you had your own radio show.
I think her show was after ours.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember from there, but Cypher League was that was a great hub. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like they deserve more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Vaughn, Tessu, Ben, fucking everybody. You know what I mean? Because I think especially the dojo that I'm talking about is like the original dojo with all the
one that they were squatting
art,
in. You know that there was no lease.
Yeah, it was like no lease. You know what I'm saying? This big ass spot and just like full on concerts and you know, consistent opportunity and just like to create another hub, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't, I don't really know. I don't think that type of environment exists anymore. You know what I'm saying? You have such wild people, you know what I'm saying? Like coming through, and that was a crazy time, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it takes me back to, you know, even we were doing when I was DJing for IOD, we were kind of on like the same circuit of shows, you know, for a little while.
Oh yeah,
there.
You remember, bro? Yeah, bro. Like Zoe Kravitz was pulling up to watch us perform when she was fucking dating Gabriel and shit like that. Like, it's like crazy world, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's New York,
Ricky,
dude.
Everybody, bro.
Yeah.
It's it was a trip, but yeah, as you were saying.
Yeah, no, it just brought back a lot of memories, man. That was such a good time, and it's a way that I built a lot of my relationships with artists. Yeah. And that's, super important to me. And, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. And, you know, the radio show, Who's on Deck days. One thing I remember, like one of our first second ciphers, I think we had Joey, Capital Steez, Kirk, and Nick when they were still in high school. Crazy. Riding on skateboards over. There's footage, if you look it up on YouTube, it's a Pro Era Cypher League, or Pro Era Who's on Deck Brooklyn College, you'll come across it.
Dope. I gotta check that out. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I just haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, no, it was great, man. But it just keeps me in the perspective of how great New York is. I love it here. Yeah. You know, I've been here for 9 years, close to 9-10 years. And I don't really plan on leaving, you know. I'm staying.
Yeah, New York could glue you, man. You know what I'm saying? But especially like those days, you're talking about formative years of a scene. You know what I'm saying? And really like a new energy in New York, because to keep it a buck, like, you know, before like ASAP and Pro Era and Flatbush Zombies and Action Bronson and all these people started blowing up, like, there wasn't that big of a scene as far as like New York lyricists, you know what I'm saying? But I think when they started making their way, you know what I mean? And what is that, 2011,
we're talking about Cypher
period. I'm talking about the whole shit.
Okay,
I'm talking about everything. Right. Like, when they started making their way, I feel like there was a new adrenaline in the city, you know what I'm saying? And I think that obviously Cypher League had its own perspective on what that should look like, you know what I'm saying? And what kind of artists were to be championed through that. But I feel like regardless, like New York in general was like helped by the emergence of all these MCs, and then you just had so much like offspring movements of that, you know what I'm saying, that became their own entities. And you know, with Cypher League, it wasn't just hip hop. It was like, it was the partying, it was the art, you know what I'm saying? It was the magazine, you know what I mean? They did do the magazine.
What was that concert that they did? They did the Brooklyn Festival. I think it was called Brooklyn Festival.
They had Talib
was there.
Yeah, they had they worked the Northside Festival, a bunch of stuff. I mean, come on, like the list, it's endless, you know what I'm saying? The impact, and I think what was just imprinted in my DNA. That's why I like just shouted it out, like, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, you know, you gotta be aware, like, as a songwriter, you're a historian, you know what I mean? So sometimes you gotta just throw it in there.
Yeah, tell a story.
I mean, look at it, brought up, it came up. So.
Yeah, exactly. I was listening to it, and I instantly just started sweating because I just remember how hot the shit was. Yeah, I just was like, dude, I've never been to something like that ever in my life. Honestly, I think that was probably like, it wasn't my first introduction. My first introduction. Okay, well, I got a funny story. When I moved to New York, right?
Yeah.
This might not even sound like that crazy, but it's just like you don't ever hear this in Florida. Like you never see this in Florida.
Yeah.
Right? So I went to a party and I believe it was Bed-Stuy. I was living in Flatbush at the time, and I went to this party, and I had never been in an apartment building that people were smoking in the stairwells. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like smoking in the stairwells, smoking weed in the stairwells and all like that. And I remember it being such a culture shock to walk into this, like such a small apartment and like just be in this, like, it was like my first real Brooklyn experience. You know what I mean? Like being in the culture of Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And, I always will have an appreciation for this city. And, some other stuff I wanted to, chat about. And we talked about like growing up in New York and, the New York rap scene. There's a lot of shit going on. I'm sure you're aware of the drill scene in New York. I just wanted to touch on that with you a little bit because, even as an outsider, I'm constantly looking up videos. I'm constantly looking up new artists, so I'm aware of a lot of these drill artists coming out of New York. But I'm also aware of what's been going on, man. There's been crazy amounts of shootings this year, and it just seems like in your first project, Nothing Changes If Nothing Changes, you mentioned being on Fulton. What's the line in Fulton with 100 Bloods, 100 Crips?
Oh no, you're talking about the off top freestyle.
Oh, that was off top. That was the off top. Yep.
100 Crips.
Yeah. So I just want to touch on that. I just want to touch on that like a little bit. I know it. With social media, it's like you're able to see it just like...
It was probably like 500 gang members. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro.
Yeah.
That was a different time. But like, all right, so...
But I know how this is happening now. I want to kind of dive into this scene of dudes.
Well, it's always been...
like growing up.
It's always been... like Wu and Cho they were different names before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Wu is what? Canarsie.
It's bro, it's all over the place now. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Sumner and there's Cho people, and you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, it's one of the, that's not even the important part. The important part is the fact that these gangs have always existed, right? And what is misunderstood, one, is the necessity for a lot of it, right? Yeah. You have a lot of kids who are glorify materialism, and have something to prove. You know what I mean? A lot of the times I believe insecurity in lifestyle, insecurity in maybe oneself, the coming of age years. So you're looking to be heralded as the most respected or the toughest or whatever, because within your friend group, you know what I'm saying, that's what is the most respected. Like, oh, you're the one that comes and you knock out anybody, you know what I'm saying? Or if we jump to somebody in, you're the third round because you're going to give them to the worst, and whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the local props are, and then money getting, obviously. But these things have always existed. Gangs have always existed. Gangs have always been a part of my upbringing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I did some podcasts, and they were like, yo, what you doing for Halloween? I'm like, yo, low-key, I still remember, you know what I'm saying? Halloween was initiation day, you know what I'm saying? Middle school, like, and I'm from Sumner, you know what I'm saying? So it was like blooded out, you know what I mean? There was still always Crip people and shit like that, but, the gang influence in New York has been heavy, especially within the youth. What I'm seeing, which is a bit different than I feel like when I was growing up, you know what I mean? Even though New York gangs existed before them, but specifically like the 2000s, you know what I mean? It felt like it was just straight up.
That's what I'm saying, because you had like
gang.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was just the gang, and it was pretty separate. Like obviously, like Dipset in New York was probably not even Purple City. Like Dipset specifically, like Jim Jones and Numb, like on the Super Blood, you know what I mean? And the Game coming over, and you had but you still had New York based, you still had Latin Kings, you still had all of this, but it felt like it was separate. It was specifically like gang culture, and then it was like hip hop and
music.
Life or whatever.
Exactly, it was separated. Now it seems
now
like
it's the commercial of the two. It's like if you put a flag on, you know what I'm saying, and rep, you basically like a lot of the dudes, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the youngins coming up, and I'm young, like they're like 30-year-olds, it's 19-year-olds, whatever. Like it's basically you put on the flag and you just diss everybody on wax, and then you don't even own your publishing, you don't even know how to upload and monetize. You're putting it up on other people's channels, so it doesn't even count towards being like RIAA certified. And you have people who are more enticed by the numbers and the traction from it than actually encouraging people to like broaden their perspective, broaden their mind, broaden their subject matter, and kind of lead a way out. You know what I'm saying? So gangs, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I can't comment for or against it more than like I can't comment for or against it. That would be a whole separate podcast because you have to actually be around to understand why these things are birthed and why they still exist. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm seeing is a lack of mentorship. What I'm seeing is a lack of guidance. What I'm seeing is a lack of knowledge and resources being openly available. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not seeing enough broadening another perspective where you have a lot of these kids, they still feel like they got to do that. Yeah. And it's working. That's the thing. Like,
it is working.
Like America is paying them for that. America is paying people to get killed. You know what I'm saying? America, like you have middle America and everyone around the world is enamored by violence, is enamored by threats, is enamored by who's the most gangster and then somebody dies and then people put RIP. It's like, yo, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't support what I don't want to see exist. You know what I'm saying? I don't support what I don't want to see grow. And if I'm gonna support it, and it has to be with a certain perspective. And yeah, man, it's a very unfortunate, setting.
Yeah, I mean that's what's interesting to me. I mean, to touch on the music side of things, you know, I'm seeing you know, a lot of flack from these A&R, or not from these A&Rs, I should say towards these A&Rs that are in...
All these A&Rs are fake, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know who are you protecting? Like, all these A&Rs, none of them are going to say, all right, we signed you because you went viral and you got 10 million views throwing down Cho or throwing down Crip, but now that you're signed, let's polish you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, no, we want the part 2 of that. Like come on, bro.
Yeah, that's what really kind of like blew my mind on it, is that people are capitalizing on it, and legit people are dying, dude. Like, you know what I mean? And they're promoting it. So it kind of like brings me to the point of, you know, how I talked about the issue between the two, you know, the Wu and Cho or whatever in here. And it's just interesting to me that now that we have like all this social media coverage, we have all this ability to upload, it now has transferred from the street to music. Mm-hmm. And now it seems like more it's music than the street. You know what I mean? Because everything comes after, and you know that's really it makes me think about like the mental health situation. And I know you've spoken on it a lot. Tell me a little bit more of your like where, you know, how we talked about where you were, how you developed into who you are. Tell me how you've gotten to this space of feeling so comfortable with who you are as a person, and what it took you to get there, because, you know, I'm struggling with that as well. And I start to notice it, that the older I get, the closer I'm getting, you know, because I'm starting to understand my life more and the things that I value. And I just want to get a perspective on how you think, and, you know, how important that is to you, and what that has in relation to the neighborhood, and like how these kids are growing up.
I think, well, for one, I look at everybody as flawed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in holding people to standards that are perfect. I believe everybody's going to sin. I believe everybody can do me wrong. I believe everybody can do somebody they love wrong. I believe everybody has the ability to misstep and contradict themselves and take steps backwards, and it's in my power to either be oblivious to the fact that nobody's perfect, or understand it off rip. You know what I mean? And for me, I've been a solution screamer as opposed to like a problem promoter. You know what I'm saying?
I always see you speaking for other people.
Yeah, because, you know what I mean? Because that's my responsibility. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think for me, I mean, you don't know the, like, an A&R can sign this artist with a flag on his head, and you have like labels like claiming gang size and all that. It's like have you ever had somebody die?
Yeah.
Off of gang shit? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever experienced that? Mm. Have you ever known, like,
Have you ever even seen a gang fight? Like, have you ever seen
a confrontation
between
have you
these
ever
people?
have you ever experienced what that does to like the spirit of people? You know what I'm saying? Like, and
it becomes the norm, and then that transfers into everyday life.
So for me, I seen that. I've experienced it. I've seen the repercussions of it. I've seen what that does to family, what that does to trust, what that does to somebody with a killer instinct already. And a lot of people need healing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of people need healing. I don't just mean street ties. I mean just in general as a human being. Like, I still seek my healing. You know what I mean? Like, on a daily, And I understand that human beings would rather go and do a lot of other things before actually addressing the problem. We are all like that. Like, I don't care if you're not like that in 9 or 10 of the things. Like, there's something you're like taking your time on addressing, and for me, I'm aware of that fact as well. So I just try to wear my evolution on my sleeve. You know what I mean? I just try to wear my evolution on my sleeve. I try to encounter people with love. You know what I mean? I try to anytime. It's like this little homie, you know what I'm saying? I was on the train 2 days ago, and this little homie comes up with the the basketball
the sign-up sheets.
Yeah, the basketball sign-up sheets.
Yeah.
Asking for 20. But he's like 6 years old, like mad young, and like I didn't even notice him because I had these big ass headphones on, listening to music. He just pull up on me like he just get mad close. I don't even notice it, but I paused the music fast enough to be like, he was just like, yo, what's up, man? Yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, you gonna run the, like, pretending to press me. You know what I'm saying? And then I just looked him in his eyes like, yo, what up, bro? Like, and he's like, oh yeah, man, nice rings, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's just a young kid, bro. Like, he was going into he was invading everybody's personal space that he was asking for money. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo, what's up, man? Like, I wasn't immediately like, what the fuck you doing, little? You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, he's like, yo, nice rings. Like, yo, thanks, man. He's like, yeah, man. Mumbling his ass. He was like, yo, I don't got no cash. He looked at me sideways. I was like, but I looked him in his eyes like, yo, bro, I hope you get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's such small instant, and then he like looked at me a little like befuddled, and then just went back into his act. But it's like, yo, like, you can't pass up any opportunity. No opportunity is small enough to like impact somebody's life in a good way. And I don't know, man. I feel like I'm at the point in my life where I just get physically ill when I behave beside myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm aware of like being physically ill when I do somebody wrong. I'm aware of like it's like a lot of, I know I'm being long-winded, but I'm being specific. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel the weight of like the mistakes I've made in the past. You know what I'm saying? And work towards repentance, work towards forgiving myself. Because a lot of these things are actually very small until you say them.
They're big in your head.
They're big in your head because they're so opposite of what your pure self is like. But a lot of the times, those actions, that perspective materializes into a lot more toxic behavior. Yeah. Because now you're mad at yourself, so you act beside yourself even more, and it's a weird system. You know
and I'm a big advocate of talking to people.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I put it in the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's subtle, even if it's direct, or just in my tone, or just how I carry myself as a human being and as a man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to make sure that I just represent what I want to see more of in this world. You know?
And what's interesting about that too also is, like, years ago, maybe like 3-4 years ago, I was in a really bad mental space. I was in a dark place. I didn't have a job. I had just left Mass Appeal. Mm-hmm. It was a mistake. You know what I mean? It was a judgment call that I made too quick. And I got into a really, really bad space for like 3-4 years. Mm-hmm. And then I finally started to figure out, the more and more I talked to people, first off, people that I felt comfortable talking to. I wouldn't just explain it to everybody, but the more and more that I would talk to people, the less weight was on my shoulder, right? And I think that's what I appreciate. That's what I appreciate about your music, is because I realize I see you as like a real person. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we have conversations that are, you know, deeper than just, hey, what's good? How you doing? You all right? And I think that's super important for people to know, because I think about times where I spoke to somebody and they made me feel good, right? I've said something and they said something back to me that made me feel good. So, and over the years, I've gotten to a way better space. So now I'm in a good mental space. I'm happy. And it just makes me think about those times when I would talk to somebody and how just me, if hypothetically you were coming to me for a problem and I just say something to you, I don't even know that it's important, but it hits you, it struck a chord with you. That's important. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's really great about being an open person. And I think a lot of people shy away from that.
Well, yeah, because you open yourself to having your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
No, having your feelings hurt.
Oh, okay.
Fuck judgment.
Explain.
Judgment is not in your control. But if you're an empathetic person, or if you have healing on your mind for somebody, or if you have best interest for somebody's life, or and then you're let down, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're two things. We are all children of God, but we're human beings. You know what I'm saying? And we are flawed. Like, we are flawed on the human side. You know. So I feel like a lot of the times people don't like being open or can't be open because it opens up the opportunity to have your feelings hurt, to be let down, to be misused, mistrusted, and so then it's like you can't actually be as open and good as you'd like to be on earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like for me, it's like it's figuring out the balance of both. It's like how do I have my arms open but am ready to pull my sword
and stay protected at the
to
same
survive
time.
at the same time, and that's been like the balance. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's why in my music, you know, I don't speak on attaining like perfection, perfect mastery over your emotions, perfect mastery over your situations. It's more so just like, what's the absolute best we can be as humans on earth without removing life from it, you know? Because you could be just like a monk, you know what I mean, on a mountain.
Yeah.
But now you abstain from the road of life. Now you're like, I want to travel the world though.
Yeah. I want to see.
I believe I'm entitled to wealth under God. I'm entitled to happiness under God. I'm entitled to all of these experiences, being able to touch people, being open. Like I believe in being of the people in my goodness. Like, I'm not here to preach to no choir. You know what I mean? Actually, my demographic of people who don't have faith. Yeah. My demographic is people who feel lost. Like, I'm not really here to like, we compliment each other on our mantras. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, like if you're already there, then cool. But you're not even my demographic. Like, it's even me with my music. To me, my target audience are 12-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? 13-year-olds. Like, I look at it like,
because you're trying to catch them. Trying to get that instill that thought a little bit earlier. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what happened to me. So it's like, so that's really what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? And trying to and providing as best of like a layout on life, and as I experience it, include that. You know, because I believe. And, you know, if God permits it, like at the end of it all, my discography, I want to embody the totality of me as a human being. You know what I'm saying? That's my goal. That's what keeps me moving, you know. So it's always finding ways to include every part of myself as opposed to being transfixed on a perspective and then only pumping that, you know?
Yeah. Let's go into a little bit of music stuff. You know, I want to talk about your team. Mogul Club. I just want to get a little bit, I mean, I know a lot of the guys, but for people that are watching, I just kind of want to get a little bit more information on not what you guys are working on musically, but how you guys develop the relationship that you guys have. I see that you guys are a very super tight-knit circle and feel very connected, and it's very rare to me to see that, because I mean, I've seen you guys working together with no issues for, how long have we known each other? What, 5, 6 years, 7 years? You're still with the same people, and you guys are all elevating at the same time from what I've seen. Talk to me a little bit about that. At some point,
you make a list in your mind, in your heart, and just the way you view your life and your proximity to people. And it's tough to not get bitter but you learn who's around when things look good.
Yeah.
And it's a cliche. It's a cliche, but it's not expounded upon enough, you know? Because people also who normally say that are just thinking about their Instagram metrics or people saying congratulations. And it's like, duh, like people like seeing something do good. So they're not going to be on your radar when
things aren't going as planned.
It's like, yo, like you can't beg anybody for support. Like people, there's something very pure, you know what I'm saying, about somebody reaching out in my DM for the first time, just discovering a video or a song or whatever. Like I don't misconstrue that as something that I'm like entitled to, or it's like, no, I know what that feels like curiosity wise and just being generally intrigued. And I know what it feels like to not have somebody on my radar as much on a day to day. But even though my Instagram is only going to show you 5% of your shit anyway, but if that. But it's like, of course, good news spreads in that sense. Congratulations. But eventually, you know, your love and your bond with people is tested when the antithesis of that is presented. Mm-hmm. So it's when a problem arises. It's when a disagreement happens. It's when somebody makes a mistake or hurts you. It's when the opportunities show up for somebody to either ride with you and stick this thing out or don't. And there are people who are very detached when things aren't moving according to how they want their relationship with you to go, right? Like it's like being at payday. Like I learned to distinguish between who was down to celebrate the wins with me and the losses with me. Because I don't fuck with people who take credit for the wins but don't
want to be there for the down shit. You know, I got you.
Don't take credit for the losses. Yeah. No, not even that. Don't take credit for the losses. I own everything I do. Yeah. Because I'm doing it and I'm conscious of my choice and my involvement. It's not like I'm rolling the dice and if it don't work out, well, that's on you. But if it works out, I got to mention that every moment that I did this thing. It's like, I don't believe in that. Yeah. I don't believe in that period in life. Now, that doesn't mean fuck everybody who isn't. But you just you learn a sense of maturity and how to distinguish which relationships are actually conducive to you to have when things are shifty. You know what I'm saying? And so when you're speaking about my brothers, like, don't get it twisted. We're not all around. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people you have in mind are present, but it's not like the people who were there 7-8 years ago are still all here. That's not the case. What happened, brother?
Yeah, I just know the artists.
Brotherhoods got put to the test and people failed. People fail to actually express love the way, like, unconditional love means without condition involved. You know what I'm saying? There is no condition that can come and ruin this. Yeah. So that's what that's about. You know what I mean? So when you talk about collaboration, like, especially by the time it makes the people, like in music or in shows and videos, it's like, duh. Yeah. I've seen you when you're depressed. I've seen you in your confusion. I've seen you when nothing is panning out. I've seen you in the intimate arguments. I've known the backstory of the darkness and advised you through it. Like, so there's nothing to wrap together. Yeah. We already there. You know what I'm saying? We already there. So that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not everybody in your life doesn't have to be that, but put those relationships to the test and be aware of, like, oh shit, like, these people got my back no matter what's going on. And and that's a blessing.
I want to talk, two things I want to mention about payday.
Because you're supposed to see people's ugliness to love them.
Yes, exactly.
Don't get it twisted. Sides, like, like,
you can't just always see the best sides of people.
You might hate me if you really get to know me. I'm not saying you will, but you might. That's what it's just being aware of that.
It's just like living.
Can I tolerate your darkness? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like living with, like, I don't know if you've
so I don't call nobody big brother. Like, I don't know nobody my big bro.
Or love.
Nah, nobody. No. Like, my brother, my big brother, like, nah. Like, you know, I got to see you when you're darkest. You know what I'm saying? And
it's like living with your friend, and then you find out you hate each other when you live together, but when you're separate, you're good. Exactly. You're good to go. It's, you know, some people aren't meant to be together like that all the time. What I want to touch on is Payday, old classic label, founded by one of the major DJs in the world, DJ Premier. Before we even get into Payday, though, I want to thank you too, because I'll never forget this phone call. I think you had just got signed. I was working at Milk Studios. It had just been it was recent. Mm-hmm. It was recent. It was not recent in times, but like you had recently just got signed. Yeah.
I'm following you, bro.
Yeah. So I was working at Milk, and I think it was probably like, it had to be like 1:30 in the morning. I was working an event with Black Bear. I don't know if you know that guy.
Yes.
Yeah. I was working the event with him, and I think it was like 1:00 in the morning. I was in the hallway setting up the lights, putting all the lenses over to change the colors of the hallways or whatever. And you call me, and I'm like, what? Radamiz is calling me at 1:00 in the morning. What? And so I pick it up.
And I hadn't spoken to you for a minute.
You hadn't spoken to me for a minute. Yeah, I remember this. I'll never forget this phone call. And you called me, and you said, yo, you still want to work in the music business? And I was like, what? I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. He's like, yo, you're like, yo, keep this on the low. Like, I just got signed, but you know, I want to keep that between me and you or whatever. But I got this guy, Adrian Nunez, correct? Mm-hmm. I got this guy, Adrian, who I can get you an interview with, try to get you in as, I believe the interview was for an A&R position.
Yeah, like A&R assistant.
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever it was.
Something like that.
Advisor, all of that shit.
Yeah, it ended up not working out, but I'll never forget the call. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I appreciate that so much, you know, and it makes me just think about our relationship. And I'm glad that you kind of can see that I'm in it for genuine reasons. You know what I mean? But
I mean, yeah, bro. How else do you maneuver in life?
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm not in control of whether it happens.
Yeah.
But see, that's I was on the way over here. I was reading the Bible, right? And if I can't find it fast enough to like read the actual part, then I'm gonna skip it. But I believe it's in Proverbs 3. I was reading this.
You gotta familiarize me. I'm not familiar with the Bible.
It's all good. You don't.
I was raised Catholic, but I kind of stopped going to church.
Bro,
after everything.
That shit don't even matter, bro.
It's all about spirituality, man. Your own connection.
Yeah, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just instructions on and suggestions on how it is to live. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could give you the real strap right here. Thank you, bro. I wish I could give you the exact quote, but it's basically, if you have it, give it. You know, if you can spare it, provide it. You know what I'm saying? And it's in Proverbs 2 or 3 for whoever is listening to this point. But you learn like, yo, that's actually sinning. To me, that's sinning. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I get a word that an opportunity is available, it is in my power to do it, and I have in mind persons who are capable, and I don't. Yeah. That's a sin. Yeah. Because now I've participated in your lack.
Exactly. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I participated in your lack of opportunity. Like, it's not a passive thing. That's a very, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a very real thing, you know? So, yeah, man, and I've done that plenty of times, and that's yeah, bro. Come on.
Yeah, that and it.
I'm sorry, I know that was a little bit long.
No, you're good. Because
I want people to be aware of that as like you maneuver through life. Like, it doesn't mean every opportunity. It doesn't mean dry yourself thin. It doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't mean starve for another person to eat. But it's like, yo, you know, there comes times in your life where you are at least in a position to provide a shot, you know?
Yeah, no, let's stay on payday because this still has to do with that. It takes me back to right when I left MassPill, and I know you're familiar with this guy, my main guy, Will Scott. Will Scott, he used to work at MassPill with me, and I used to work at MassPill with him, I should say. It was I had just left. I had moved back to Florida. I was living in Miami after I left New York, and he texted me. I was in the movie. I was watching what's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio when he's fighting the bears and shit? The Reverend.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch
bro,
that.
You gotta.
You just
my
put it
god,
on my list. Yo,
my man, you gotta watch that.
That's
shit.
what he actually won an award for finally.
Oh hell yeah. And he climbs and he fucking hides in the horse.
I'm
and
literally
shit.
gonna open it in my chat right now. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
But it reminds me of that or whatever. I had just left. It was Mother's Day. Never forget. Will texted me right as I'm about to go into theater, I believe. And I had just left right around the time when we were doing the Run the Jewels project. I think it was Run the Jewels 2, the second album. But we did Meow the Jewels, which was a fundraiser by LP and Killer Mike. So they did this fundraiser where, like, I guess like a fan had like commented on like YouTube and was like, yo, you should make this album with cat beats. And they were like, yeah, fuck it, we'll do it. We're high. Like, let's do it, you know? And so the album was whatever. It was strictly for fundraising purposes. But what came along with that album was gift packages. And so like it was donation based. Like you donate 20, you get the CD. You donate 100, you get a CD, a cat spatula, like the poop scooper, catnip, and shit like that, right? And so I was doing that. I was doing that for a long time. I was like going to the mailbox in the post office with like bags, like, over my shoulder. Dropping off these things. And anyways, I had left and that ended. And, you know, I left Mass Appeal and I was at the theater and Will texted me and he's like, yo, do you know anybody that could help come in and like ship these CDs for us? We need like an extra hand. And, you know, I just finished DJing for my boy, and you know I was thinking about people that I can rely on, and I immediately thought of you guys, and I thought of History, and I hooked them up, and then now you guys are all on the label that Will Scott is now a part of, you know, and it's just like that makes me so happy that
so you're basically responsible.
Will will tell you. Yeah,
yeah, that's crazy,
so,
bro. Yo,
Will tell you when I see you.
Like, so,
and you know what's so crazy? I was talking about you guys when I was at Mass Appeal.
Right.
You know, I was.
Oh yeah, they turned me down. Like Will told me that. Will. You know what I'm saying? Will tried to sign me. He tried to pitch it to whoever the signing A&R were. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, if you know Will. He's very
mushroom man,
quiet. He's not really he's not really gonna let you in on the plan until things have like gone in motion. You know what I'm saying? Like I've learned that about him, and it's very annoying. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, half the time, because I believe in like constant communication, even if it's nothing. Even if we're just being redundant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he's like, Will won't respond until something has happened, and then he'll be like, all right, so then I tried this, and then I did this, and then so that hasn't worked, so then I reached out to them, and then bam, and it's like, that's Will. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned that over the years to appreciate that. But, you know, he told me, like, he tried to get me signed at Mass Appeal, whoever they were, didn't see the vision. Obviously, History brought me in on that.
Yeah.
And then you brought History in on that. History brought me in on that. And then when Will ends up going to Payday, before that, Mass Appeal moved to downtown, like Soho, up by Canal Street, and I was working at opening ceremony. That was my day job, so I would see Will in passing every now and then. So there was also a sense of familiarity in that space, you know. And I don't even think he caught my set at Nas's show. You know what I'm saying? I think he just knew about it. The Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival.
The festival.
So I don't even think he caught my set, but he was just aware that, you know what I'm saying, it was involved. And yeah, I guess when he went to Payday, it wasn't made known to me until after, but he went to Payday, he did the same thing he did at Mass Appeal, and I guess Adrian Nunez ended up rocking with me, and it was through Will that I even got brought up and involved in that whole situation, you know?
Yeah, no, that makes me feel super good.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. That's a blessing, bro. You deserve some goodness.
Yeah, the last time I saw Will was at your video shoot. What was the one that I showed up? We were all
VIM.
We were wearing all black.
VIM.
No, it was a VIM.
New York.
No, it was the park in Harlem. We went to that park.
VIM. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and I saw Will there, and I had a little cameo in that video. I think it was like a little 2-second cameo. Nothing major.
There's a lot of small plugging in of things. You know what I'm saying in that.
Yeah, no, that's funny, man. But that's
a blessing, bro.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I and like I said, going back to that phone call, I'll never forget it. You know, it was just so weird. You know, it was just like calling me, like, "Yo, you still want to work in the music industry?"
Exactly.
Like, hell yeah. But that's kind of why I'm doing this now. Is, you know, I'm doing this now, this podcast, because I just kind of needed something for myself. I needed something to, like I told you earlier, I need something to talk my shit on.
Yeah, create, bro.
Yeah. And so, you know, here we are with this podcast. You know,
but you were talking about Payday.
Yeah, I want to talk about Payday because I want to talk about the more progressions that you've made in the time with them in general. Just from first off, let's talk about Nothing Changes and Synonyms of Strength. What's what's the plan with those? What's the difference between those albums? What was your vibes on those? Because Erickson's a huge fan of Nothing Changes If Nothing Changes. And
Nothing Changes If Nothing Changes is basically
I'm gonna have to get that tatted like
an addressing of my history. You know what I'm saying? An addressing of things that have happened, bringing them to light to enable freer thought. You know what I'm saying? And just being transparent about my identity as like a Dominican, being transparent about my identity as a New Yorker, being transparent about my history and the pains and the things that I've gone through to get to where I'm at, and the addressing of them is the signal for change. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's also just like feeling that sense of responsibility. And for me, I treated it as like a debut to the world. You know, it's like no matter what I may never show you my parents again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I may never talk about my family that in depth, or bring up so many smaller anecdotes and show you my grandparents, even in the creation of the book that we made, you know what I'm saying, alongside that. Like, that may be the end of that, you know what I'm saying? But for me, it was like, if this was the first time he's going to hear me, then know me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where now you have synonyms of strength, and that's why we made the accompanying book that had nothing to do with Payday. Like, that was us putting up our own money, you know what I'm saying? And then we went, and then synonyms of strength, it was like, it was an awareness of sometimes a lot of people have strength and confidence and resilience to the negativity, and they have that misconstrued as to what that always looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes to just be still and unbudged is strength. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To weep is strength, because you finally admit to what it is. Like, gratitude is gangsta and the killers is pussy. Nah, gratitude is gangsta and the killers forgiven. Like, both. Like, addressing it, like, oh fuck, I have these emotions, but I'm willing to let go. That's strength. You understand what I'm saying? So I am blessed. I'm alive. I'm amazing.
That's how I was gonna get into that video. I watched that last night. But think about it.
What I'm saying is nothing other than the fact that I am blessed because I'm alive. Yeah. And that's amazing. At the bare minimum, I'm alive, so there's an opportunity to do something about where I'm at. Yeah. And that's amazing. And that means I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all of these things to me are strength. And then, to be honest, I negotiated myself out of that contract, so I'm not going to be with Payday at the end of this year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a wrap for that. So it's like, these were the two projects that basically I added to whatever lineage they have. You know what I'm saying? That's unannounced. I don't know when this is on track.
Oh, yeah, we just got an exclusive. I was like, yo, wait.
Yeah, nah, because I don't want to have you understand something that it isn't. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, and I thought I went into Synonyms of Strength knowing like, yo, all right, this is the last joint. And
I mean, but you've been there for what? You know? 2 years?
3 years. 2017. Yeah. But that's the thing. The first album took so long, and it was a learning experience, you know, clearing, you know, producers being actually about that. You learn in the music industry and in business in general, a lot of people are liars about how efficient they are about business. A lot of people are liars about how fair they are. You have producers that just want to be cool with you to get the placement, and they disappear. You have artists that won't do the work unless their fee is going to get like secured. So then it's like, I don't even want to work with you. You have people who drag their feet. Yeah, exactly. And like I said before, you have people who don't take credit for the losses but love the wins. And you learn patience, man. You learn patience. You learn emotional intelligence and maturity. You learn how to like speed the process as you're creating. That's why Synonyms of Strength I was able to drop within the year. You know what I'm saying? Like Nothing Changes dropped in October, and in August Synonyms of Strength was ready.
Yeah,
it was
quick.
And it was pretty done before that too. You know what I mean? So, but it's because I learned how to like work ahead of myself, and yeah, I'm just more experienced as an artist and who I am. You know?
I saw you tweeting the other day, and this was interesting to me. I was it you or was it Brandon? Shout out to Brandon too, your manager. I remember sneaking bottles into the club for him before he was 21.
Amazing.
With Mark at Top Shelf Premium. Shout out Brandon.
Amazing. Always.
Yo, wait. We'll get into how you guys met too. I want to touch on that a little bit, but I did see you tweeting the other day about how you've been catching shit from fans about your rap being too conscious, and that you were gonna really rap on this next project. What's up?
So I didn't say any of those things. I said two things. One thing was
clarify this for me. I
said there are people who felt the project was too positive.
Okay, that's what it was.
And
yes,
people don't like that. People don't like positivity. I'm not positive.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm gritty. I'm just like blunt. You know what I'm saying? Like positive is pretending like the world doesn't have ailments or speaking about problems on a general level. And it's like, and the world is bad and the streets are tough and we got to put the drugs down. I don't do none of that shit. I know why you do drugs. Mm-hmm. I know why you kill people.
Yeah.
I know why you're a threat to society. I know why the government doesn't give a fuck. I know what's set up against you. I know what you've had to fight through. I know your mother wasn't shit. I know your father wasn't shit. I know nobody around you loved you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying none of that. I'm aware of the darkness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm aware of I'm aware of the reason behind sin. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not positive at all. Yeah. I'm just honest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's one. And then the other one was, I'm just going for blood. And
yeah, that's like, what it was.
Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
That was it. See, in my head, it was just like, yo, I'm really going to rap on this shit.
I ain't say that either. I ain't say I was really going to rap.
No, in my head, that's what it was.
I've been writing I rap my whole life.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? But for me, what I'm saying is, as an MC with foam out of his mouth rapping is what I'm on right now. Don't get it twisted. Motherfuckers can't write I am blessed, I'm alive, I'm amazing. They haven't lived with themselves long enough to do that.
Yeah.
They can only speak it in alluding to or fake poems. You know what I'm saying? Or like shit that it's like it sounds like it says something and you fuck with them, so you're like, oh, he probably said something, but they ain't say shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, no, I know what I did on I Am Blessed. I know what I did on Gratitude is Gangsta. Like, people ain't saying that. You know what I'm saying? They're not saying that. They're not talking about 6ix9ine in a way of blaming actually the flag and the people buying into like seeing gang violence as a commodity and then surprised when everything folds and then you dip off. But it's like, you're the reason they got popping in the first place, because I saw 6ix9ine since way before. 6ix9ine was part of Loaf music. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't he lived around Locust Street, right?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I saw him always wild out, and it wasn't until the blood flag got put on and guns popped up in the videos that he blew up. So it's y'all fault. Yeah. He was just trying something new. He needed to find something. You know what I'm saying? The music quality wasn't necessarily that much better either. He just like, oh, all right, now this is a good gangster. All right, yeah, now it pops.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, so for me, I say all that to say, yeah, man, yeah, bro. Come on, son. Come on, son. You know what I mean?
Okay. So
I'm an animal, bro.
All right.
So like, I'm a songwriter.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes rabid, foaming out the mouth, MCing is getting in the way of the record. It's like sending as a stream. If I had shit I got to talk about.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, okay. So while we're on
nobody doing Brody's and Wody's flow. Brody's flow. Motherfuckers not doing that. Brody's Wody's. The first song, the Cypher League Dojo rap, but IOD all night and Solomon 5, a lot of straight battle. Then I know at some point the algorithm's gonna make sure that these rubies in this rhythm start the trend. Best of Brooklyn Cypher Hall of Fame. It's a known name for 2011. Oh, come on, son.
Yeah. Well, I mean, while we're on this though, I had a huge argument with my friends back in Florida, and I get a bunch of shit about New York rap scene and how it ain't shit, and how the South is running things. And we're talking about we're going to go into music a little bit. My opinion on New York rap is two things. One, I feel like I've realized since I've been here that maybe this is just me, but the collaborations between artists is a little bit harder to make happen out here. And two, we have a lot of like real artists out here, but it's just not the numbers. They're not. So for me, when I hear like New York rap is dead, it's just like that completely rubs me the wrong way, because everybody talks about the South. We all know the South is, the standard at the moment. A lot of people are trying to sound like the South. But my argument is that we have a lot of rappers in New York that are really, really talented and can put together solid projects. But it's just we have so much talent out here, so many people, that it just gets flooded out. What do you think about that?
My opinion has changed over the years. I think on a very literal sense, you've never had so many active New York artists in the scene.
There's a lot, right?
No, listen to what I said. There's never been a point where this many New York MCs have been active.
Yeah.
If you speak about the 90s and the 2000s, there were a handful of people putting up numbers, you know what I'm saying, hits, running, like dominant in the mainstream back then for sure. You know what I'm saying? But now there's so many ways to be a New York MC, and it's being reimagined. Even like the drill shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is so New York. You know what I mean? Like it really it's 100% New York. You know what I'm saying? It's not even as, but people just, they think if you don't sound like, you know what I'm saying, Mobb Deep or Talib Kweli, then you ain't New York hip hop. And it's like, motherfuckers have limited perspectives on music. You know what I'm saying? I understand it from a craftsmanship level, you know? So, but for me, as far as like, features and collaborations, New York isn't as good at being collaborative with each other. And I can't always say the reason. You know what I'm saying? I think for me,
I just think there's so much shit going on.
Honestly, I mean, everybody's just focused on their own shit and trying to seem like they're bigger than New York.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of artists, you know, I've reached out to plenty of artists in New York to work on shit who've complimented me, shown me love, whatever the case, send the joints. And it's like, motherfuckers won't do shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've lost a lot of my care for that, to be honest. Like 1,000%. Like I'm honestly giving a fuck 1,000 times like less as time goes on, because I realize it's not a big place for like the reciprocation of love. So it's like I kind of have to just be on my own shit to ever. I mean, I get the love from who I get the love from. Mm-hmm. If an MC or artist, whatever, fucks with me and has respect, 9 out of 10 times they're not gonna tell you anyway. Or they're going to try to shit on your name, or, you know what I'm saying, they're going to try to block your blessing and not bring you up in conversation, and whatever the case, you know what I'm saying? So there's not a lot of like, I don't know, responsibility and just like loving that. Yeah. It's the same thing like I said, like you open yourself up. I remember I did a post and I don't even know why you meant, I don't know if you saw this. I named I must have named 250 acts from New York. Right?
Oh, you did. I remember that. I remember this.
On my timeline.
Yes, I remember.
That's what I'm saying. On my timeline. So you got people hyped that Kevin Durant is commenting and Mahershala. It's like, none of y'all get the point of this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not going to act like y'all don't exist.
Yeah.
And that's what New York does. We pretend like other people aren't living. We pretend like they don't have mothers and fathers to make proud. They don't have squads to hold down. They pretend like somebody else's talent is in the way of theirs. Yo, I'm nobody. I'm like nobody to them.
Yeah.
To me, I'm myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm myself. I have my perspective on art. And that's why this year has been heavy on I'm making my books. I'm making my art. I'm working my short films. I'm coming with the peace shit for real. Synonyms of strength. Motherfuckers is cowards. They can't show love. Yeah. A lot of people they're not there. It's like they still have to be, they're genuinely good people in real life and then have to like have a facade on
But what do you
mic.
think adds to that though?
What do you mean? The consumer pays people for that, and the consumer likes a specific image, and the consumer likes emotionlessness. That's why you have emo artists. Like that's why the emo genre exists. It's like fuck everything. I hate life. Fuck y'all, fuck life, nothing's going good. People like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for me, that's just fake. You know what I mean? You're ignoring your blessings. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're not responsible with your voice. You're not a thought leader at that point. So I fuck with who I fuck with. Now, on the feature side, I have New York MCs that have been on my shit, and I work with mad people. You know what I'm saying? If you look at Radamiz's feature list, it's OD. You know what I mean? It's like, it's rarely times like for me to turn down a verse from an MC that I know is out here hustling, you know what I'm saying? It's either just the song didn't work or whatever the case, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you like if I fuck with the song and I see that you have a sense of individuality and in your story, at least where I'm at right now, I'm gonna lend my voice because I know it's important to document unity. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? It's important to document unity, and it's important to put it in, you know what I mean? I got songs with Don Smith coming out, and Rome Streets, and fucking some Tony Seltzer, Gabe Nandez joint, and you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this. Yeah. So it's like, fuck all that shit. But honestly, it's like, fuck all that, because all I'm going to do is move with love, and I can't give a fuck about anybody else. Yeah. Because if not, I'm distracted on my path. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't need none of that, bro. You got a lot of motherfuckers. Yo, bro, listen to me. I've been around long enough to see people be popping and fall the fuck off. Yeah. I've been around long enough to be ignored. I say it on I Am Blessed. I'm alive. I'm amazing. Time I need a favor, I got rain checks. So nowadays I'm dishing out 1,000 favors. Like, yo, I've asked people advice on my contracts. I've looked out. I've asked people to, yo, how do I maneuver this situation? What do I need to do? But I've done the reach out for help. I've done the reach out for guidance. I've done the reach out to all of these MCs to work because I genuinely fuck with them. Not because it's a position, it's a play or whatever the case. I genuinely fuck with them. I've done all of that. I've been shitted on. You understand what I'm saying? Not to the world because I look good when I hustle. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no matter what my numbers are, no matter what my product is moving, not moving, whatever, like, you could tell, oh, the Radamiz brand is strong because it's backed by experience. Yeah. You dig me? Like, I was just talking to Fifth. He was like, yo, you don't get a lot of more, like, fanatic love from the people because it just looks like you're doing good.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, yo, that's how it's supposed to look.
Yeah.
What you want me to look like?
It looks like.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I mean.
So it's like I'm at that point where I'm just like, yo, like fuck all of this shit. That's why that's what I'm saying. I know my back is against the wall in that sense because I'm at the next wave of my evolution. Now that doesn't mean I can't show love when it's presented, but I've seen fake. Yeah. I've seen you shit on me. I've seen you ignore me. I've seen you talk shit behind my back after I show love. I've seen the scene not acknowledge me until it's like, yo, y'all not men. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just good on all of that shit, bro. Plus I have my own path, bro. Mm-hmm. I give a fuck about the representation of Dominicans in hip-hop. I give a fuck about New York hip-hop enough to know I have to add something to that legacy. I have my own perspective on art, family. I have a family I'm trying to raise. You know what I'm saying? I'm building a company. I'm trying to reinstill faith in people's minds. You know what I'm saying? And de-taboo religion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, no, like, this is open and still be make any kind of music that I want. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, son, I can't even, I'm not even on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even on that. If it was up to me, I wouldn't work with no artists. You know what I'm saying? I would just work with producers and musicians but it's just like, it's the commercialist shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you guys, and let's keep going on this. I saw when you guys, how long ago did you go out to Cali?
Last time I was out there was in November.
And you shot the Solange video out there, the Mad Wiz video, right? Yeah. Shout out Mad Wiz, that's my guy.
Of course.
I love Mad Wiz.
That's my brother.
But you were...
And Wiz been wanting me to be like this. Word. Everybody was always like, Rad, you too nice. But it's like, I don't air out what I know and what I experience. And
Wiz is like that. Yo, that's why I love him.
Wiz is the devil on my shoulder. And not to call my brother a devil because he's not that. He's a pure heart. But he's the one that's like, yo, fuck everybody. Like, he's been on some fuck everybody. They don't fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we show what we do. And people see that as intimidation. But we've been the most open. You know what I mean? Like, yo... Son, I'm at it's crazy, bro.
Well, I mean, we're getting
in a good place.
I want to talk about how it feels because you guys are working with who? Tay Beats?
Tay Beats, yeah. We was
from
on
TD, right?
He produced Gratitude's Gangsta.
Okay, please tell me, we're going to get into that before we get out of here a little bit. I just want to talk about what it felt like to, going back to what we've been talking about this whole episode, to now being in the room with a producer from arguably one of the best labels in the game, right? Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you? You know what I mean? Like, how do you even comprehend that?
Bro, I said there ain't enough pride that outweigh my dependence on God. Like, that's how I pulled up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was in the room with Cass versus Freeway. I was in the room with Kool Herc learn how to DJ. RADA. Damn. You know what I'm saying? I can't be no king with no heart. You know what I mean? Like, what it does is it's just, what's up. Like, your career is based on real. So he played me beats at first and it was like some turn up shit because you just expect everybody to just be on that tip. I'm like, yo, Tay, I know what you do, bro. Like, I'm like, play me first. Let's backtrack. Play me what you love. Play me what you like that you've been making. Yeah. Started putting me on some records. I think he played me the Nick Grant joint. They dropped the EP. He played me some shit from C.S. Armstrong and him they've been working on. I fuck with shout out C.S. Armstrong and then I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the vibe.
So he produced the whole Synonyms
Hell no. He produced Gratitude is Gangsta. Okay. He produced Gratitude is Gangsta. That's what we made the first day. And we have another song that we made that was more on some fun shit. But but it's like I'm at the point in my life where it's like you're aware of the new and the opportunity and the stage to prove yourself, not necessarily to anybody, but your imagination when you had no opportunity. Yeah. Like when I daydreamed 2-3 years ago and I'm thinking about working with all these people, I'm in that room proving to myself back then that you were worthy. Yeah. Because I'm worthy of everything in this life. I'm worthy of all of the awards, millions of records, worldwide fame, talk show, whatever the fuck. I know I'm worthy. I'm worthy. No, listen.
Okay.
I'm worthy.
Yeah.
Right? And so many are. What's missing is the opportunity and the stage to perform and portray that. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Back then, the stages were so minute, but they were so impactful.
Yeah.
So I was listening to like PD Crack and Oskino on Drink Champs, and Oskino's like, "Yo, off the radio freestyle, we did an 11-city tour and
that's crazy.
Getting thousands of dollars a show and built everybody's career. Fabulous doing the DJ Clue tapes. He wasn't getting paid for them shits, bro. Mm-hmm. But just you did a mixtape and you did your verse was hot enough and the shit went. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that. I'm aware like those chances, especially like in 2020, if it was back then, like that's why I understand when people are like, yo, if it was back then or whatever, like, yo, honestly, like 2020 is hard because it's hard to maneuver what the stages are and so it's like for me, I'm just like, yo, like if the stage is Tay Beats being in front of me and I just go crazy, then that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I just got to attack it for that. It's not about the person or their accolades. Of course, he's won Grammys, worked with Kendrick, Schoolboy, Ab-Soul, all these people. Of course, I fuck with the records he's done, of course. But at that point, it's not about them.
Yeah.
It's like on the, what was the MC song, the show, the singing shit, the Chance Cardi B shit.
On Netflix.
And homie was at the end, and then he started talking about Kendrick Lamar, and I think it was like T.I. or Chance. And he was like, yo, why are you talking about Kendrick? This is about you.
First off, let's discuss that. I have some background information on that. What's the name of the dude that won that? D-Smoke or something?
D-Smoke, yeah.
That's like Kendrick's cousin or something. It's
like it's
somebody's
Sir's
cousin.
brother.
Sir's brother, yeah.
Yeah, Sir's brother. But I don't get. It's not about that.
Yeah.
He won off talent. He should have won anyway.
He was dope.
But what I'm saying is, to get off that, it's not about anything Tay Beats did. I know that before the studio session.
Yeah.
Once we in there, what does Radamiz bring to the table?
Exactly.
How do I add? How do I make sure I'm competing with, you know what I'm saying, the best of me? You know what I mean? So, yeah, bro. That's how it is with anybody. That's how it is with Static when I work with him. That's how it is with Budgie when I work with him. That's how it is with, bro, anybody, bro.
Yeah.
Anybody.
When's the last time you've been in the studio?
2 days ago.
2 days ago?
Like that. Yeah, I'm working on
you
two
still
albums
working with
at the same
You still
time.
working with the same dude on Broadway?
Chris Conway.
I've
done some records over there with him. It's one of those things where it doesn't make sense money-wise right now to be spending that much money on recording.
Yeah.
So I've been working in a bunch of different places. That's one of them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm working on 2 projects at the same time. So. All
right, cool. I mean, hey man, we've been here for close to an hour and a half?
You feel complete? I feel like we just now starting. You know what I mean? Like,
shit. What else? What's on your mind? Let's get something on. What's something that's been bothering you? Let's talk about that for a little bit. Let's see. Come on.
Nothing is bothering me.
Bothering you?
Nothing is bothering me. Hell no. Nothing is important enough to bother me in the space of like music besides just creating and figuring out the lanes of like the hustle. You know what I'm saying? But I think for me it's just good to just be out and following your heart. And I'm just like so happy to be where I'm at. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm happy to see. I'm happy to have arrived because I've never dropped the ball. And I thank God for that. Yeah. I've never dropped the ball at any play. You can't say Radamiz was bigger back then. It just is what it is. Now my path is definitely taking longer. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. I'm not gonna be oblivious and act like when I drop some shit it ain't fucking. But I've never been bigger. I've never been bigger than what I am now. Yeah. Last year I wasn't bigger. I wasn't bigger the year before that. I was like, no, that was
each year is a progression.
Each year is a progression. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like for me, it's one of those things where I just gotta honor that. You know what I mean? And it's like you pray and your prayers are getting answered. But you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean time, the way you think about time is being, you know what I'm saying, honored too. It's like, yo, like you're not even ready for the things you're praying for. So I think for me, if anything, my prayers have always been answered because I've never not been ready for what's been presented to me. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing that I've noticed about you. You're always on point. Always on point.
Yo, for the most, because I gotta survive.
I've never
survive. Yo, like I said, right? I have love for everybody, but I understand everybody is a sinner. You understand what I'm saying? Everyone's a sinner. Everyone has the ability to do me wrong. Everyone has the ability to let me down. Everyone has the ability to put me in a place where it compromises my integrity, my future, the respect of myself and the people around me. So you learn it's both. It's like,
so how do you deal with that?
Love. I've been telling you. Yeah. Open love, but don't ignore the wisdom of experiences and surviving certain situations. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all it is, bro. I want to be an artist till the day that I die. And if that's tomorrow, if that's 89 years old, if I'm the first human being in a millennium that survives to be 225 years old, then I intend to be a creator. All right. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And that is not only limited by hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's music, it's art, it's poetry, it's visuals, it's just content. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that I'm doing my part as a community leader and as a thought leader on this world while I exist to help the world be a better place. You know what I'm saying? So
one last thing. Where's Radamiz in 5 years? Where do you see yourself? What is, I don't want to say the outcome, but like, what's your goal? Because it's just, that's corny, but like,
well, goals aren't corny, but I understand what
you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm not trying to ask you like the standard question, like where do you see yourself in 5 years, and what is going to be, what impact are you looking for? And like, because I was talking about. Let's go back for a second. I was talking to a friend about this guy Hood Chef. Are you familiar with Hood Chef?
Rings a bell from.
Yeah, back in the day, I used to do the Who's on Deck ciphers, and he used to cook.
Yes.
The loco sandwiches and all that stuff. Shout out Hood Chef. He's living out in Cali, I think, at the moment at the Funhouse.
Bless up, bro.
Yeah, but one thing I remember him telling me, and I remember clowning him like in my head about it. I was with my boy, and he was in the passenger seat, and Hood Chef was in the back, and we were just talking about what our plan was and what the event was going to be, and I was like, well, what's up with you? And he's like, right now I'm on my 10-year plan. And I was like, 10-year plan? Because I was just graduating high school. Not high school, college. It was 2013, 2012, 2013. And so in my head, being a cocky 20, 21, 22-year-old doing the radio show and not wanting to do internships and being like, nah, this is it. Like, I'm going to do it myself. This conversation just came back into fruition or whatever you want to call it with my friend. And I was just like, it goes along with COVID and everything that's happening on, and people aren't able to work. And I was just like, yo, remember that one time we were in the back of the car and Hood Chef was like, yo, I'm on a 10-year plan. And my boy said he was right. And we were clowning him. And so that's, and in a good way, he's still my boy. Like, just like 10 years, like just being young and ignorant, So that's what makes me want to ask you that question, because I've already seen your development from when we met, right? So let's talk about real briefly before we get out of here, just what is the plan, and hypothetically, where do you see yourself and what impact do you want to play in your life? Not just on music. What is the ultimate goal as a human, as a fully, coming into your full self?
Well, those are two different questions. I'm a Renaissance man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, now, is that being expressed to the full capacity it can? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably more resources that can be used, bigger names to be included. Talent takes a back seat to budget and marketing budget nowadays. So you probably need some more marketing budget. You know what I mean? Celebrity to make things more digestible to people. So it's like, okay, Rad just needs to start chilling with the celebrities he knows, and you know what I mean?
Let's stop halfway right there.
You know what I mean?
All right. I know you got a girl, right?
Yeah, hold on. You just knocked me off my train of thought.
My bad.
I have a girl who I honor, yeah. But so you like, oh, Raz probably has to start hanging out with celebrities more and taking pictures with them and making people feel like, he's bigger than where he's at. But it makes sense because the bigger they think you are, the bigger you actually are.
Well, you rap about that on Nothing Changes If Nothing Changes.
Yeah, well, VIM, I say specifically it's pretending. It's
pretending to be on.
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to take a picture with somebody and say, yo, we up to something. And it's like, we not.
We working.
That doesn't mean you can't take pictures with people you up to something with. You know what I mean? It just means, come on, bro. Like, at least be actually doing it. But for me, whether it looks like it or not, I put up my own money, made my own first book, you know what I'm saying? Produced that shit in Berlin. It's releasing at Dover Street Market now at the end of this month. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to release at Dover Street Market in March, but the week COVID hit and shut down New York was my event. I was literally going to announce it, flyer, everything, in-store performance. We have a limited t-shirt we're releasing there too. You know what I'm saying? Rappers don't get into Dover Street Market. Whoever knows, you know what I'm saying? So that was my plan since March. 2 films, you know what I'm saying? One of them, obviously, the Inner City Rats joint, independent film. Of course, the budget isn't going to be crazy. It's a 19-year-old kid, you know what I'm saying? Doing it from his own pocket, but taking advantage of those opportunities. And you still see me with a Dominican flag around my head. The bodega that I'm at is my uncle's bodega in Bushwick. You know what I'm saying? Like, the work is there. You know what I'm saying? I got another one with Khalik Allah coming that just got postponed because of this. You know what I'm saying? So the films are there. Obviously, the music, nothing changes, and Synonyms of Strength drops within 12 months. And I got 2 projects I'm working on at the moment. On top of that, putting out the Synonyms of Strength short film. Even I Am Blessed, writing my own treatment. Obviously, on the model video, tip. Right? You know what I'm saying? On the model tip. Oh, shit. O&S. Yeah, bro.
Who you modeling for,
shit
bro?
Come on, bro. You're not on my Instagram, bro. You must not be on my... You know what I'm saying? Like... I pay for shit now if I want to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? People just bless me. I'm blessed by that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm blessed to do that. But it's like, like Nike sends me shit, Adidas, a New Balance. There's a reason. I remember one of my homies was over and they're like, I got like these new like Alexander Wang joints, and they were like, everybody was hype, like, oh, it must be nice to wear free sneakers. And then my homie was like, well, he works for that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you work. It's because I work on my imaging. I work on my branding. I work on the way I represent myself and my artistry. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I say all that to say I pat myself on the back, and there's a lot of other things, and I'm omitting a bunch, but I say all that to say I'm already a Renaissance man. I'm already doing what I want my 10 years from now to look like. Yeah. It's the music. It's the poetry. You saw we did the 2020 America joint, you know what I'm saying, with my man Nicky Chulo and shit like that. That wouldn't have happened if I didn't go out on Nothing Changes and made a poem about, you know what I'm saying, my ancestry. You know what I'm saying? And me honoring my ancestors with my past and the steps that I take. And then from that, somebody reaches out and it's like, yo, everybody around me, and I keep associating myself with people that are rising. Yeah. And now there's a genuine love in that. There's a bond in that. So now it's like, yo, they see where I'm at. I see where they're at. And where as new opportunities and new blessings and paths start opening up, the community gets even more tight-knit. So I understand nepotism. Yeah. I understand why. It's like, yo, I might never do a cover with anybody else but Sam ever again for my music. You know what I'm saying?
Lindenfield, right?
Yeah, Sam Lindenfield. Shout out my man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, it's something that I'm already speaking that into existence with my actions. I'm not telling you what I want to do. I'm dropping music. I'm working on 2 albums. I have films coming out, working on clothing, I'm building my own company separate from Radamiz. You know what I'm saying? I'm already putting into play that I want collaborations with Nike. Yeah. I want collaborations with Adidas. I want collaborations with Apple. I want collaborations with Tesla. I'm already telling you I want to be in films. I'm already doing it. I'm already telling you I want to be popping in the fashion shit. I'm already doing it. I'm already telling you I want to drop books and be a published poet. You know what I'm saying? And create pieces of art to present it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not just get a whatever check, mass produce a bullshit ass book that you can't put in your living room. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I want it to be art. I'm already doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where I'm gonna just keep following my curiosity, because at the end of the day, nobody told me I could do this shit. Yeah. People believed in me. People saw my potential, but potential is you filling in the blanks for who you think I'm supposed to be. Yeah. It's like, no, I know who the fuck I am, and I'm just now there, and I'm just now finding the bravery and the love to be able to go and courage to be able to do these things, because a lot of it contradicts what I got fans for in the first place. Yeah. And that's the hard part about being an artist, a creator, reinventing yourself and innovating your own life. It's because a lot of times what you get props for, you think you have to keep feeding into. And that's how you have these artists in circles that are immensely talented, but they're too attached to the attention they get. You know?
Shit, man. This was a great conversation, dude, honestly.
What you were saying about my girl?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because you were talking about hanging out. You need to be taking pictures with celebrities and all that. I was just going to hit you with what celebrity you shoot your shot with the celebrity, but you got a girl, so I'm not gonna get you on that. I'm not gonna put you on the spot.
I mean, I don't care, but I honestly don't even want any other. Like, it's like when you get somebody you love, other women's imagery cuts. You know what I mean? That shit just falls. You know what I mean?
That's it. I don't need to hear anymore.
So it's like, yeah, bro. You realize like my girl brought me closer to God. How can you how can you think about another woman in a way of like actually doing anything?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My girl, I said it on I Am Blessed. My girl told me, you know what I'm saying, quit my 9 to 5 because I'm going to make it. Like, no girl doing that shit, man. Not a lot of women are doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, really being like, okay, I forgot a relationship is a unit. It isn't just something to brag about the positive moments or brag about splurges or material things. Like, you know what I'm saying? We gift each other things. We live, but like we're working as a unit. So it's like, I'm honoring that too.
Word. Shit, man. Rad.
Come on, bro.
Yo.
Bless.
Episode 1 wrapped up, bro.
Yo, thank
I appreciate
you
you
welcome,
coming,
bro.
I appreciate you coming here.
Facts.
All right, let's do it.